We live in a new age, and it's time for us to upgrade our tinfoil hats. Operation Tinfoil is a freedom-focused small business and trusted sponsor of this show. Their super comfortable new line of beanies and baseball caps will not only crown your skull in style, but each of these dome defenders is lined with a silver mesh that blocks up to 99% of EMF radiation from cell phone towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and yes, even 5G. We don't know what EMF radiation does to the brain long term, but neither do they, so don't be their guinea pig and don't wait around to find out. Get your stylish tinfoil hat of the future today at gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Again, that's gettinfoil.com. Use the promo code SYSTEM for $10 off your order. Today's episode is sponsored by Decido Apparel Company. Decido's shirts and apparel will not just cover your ugly body, but they'll make you look good and maybe even help you strike up an uncomfortable conversation, and you know how I feel about those. With grabbing designs like Where's the List, Operation Northwoods, Fetterman 24, Branch Davidians Should Have Never Stopped Shooting, and my personal favorite, Stanley Kubrick's Apollo 11, Decido shirts will have you opening up valuable conversation doors and building culture one wear at a time. Check out all their designs and support this incredible company now at Decido.com. That is DSYDO.com. Get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here today. My name is Ryan Woods. I am a drag artist, otherwise known as Lady MAGA USA. This is a picture of me dressed up. I represent Gays Against Groomers. It's a national nonprofit organization. You may have seen them on Tucker Carlson. We are homosexuals and transgender people who are standing up against the mutilation of children. Ever since early, here, let me put on my lip gloss, I'm nervous. Ever since early childhood, I have loved girl things, makeup, dresses, Barbies, and sparkles. This did not make me a girl. I was a fabulous boy, and today, quite frankly, I'm a fabulous man. I'm here to stand up for little boys like I was, and tomboy girls, hashtag save the tomboys, who are being groomed, manipulated, drugged, chemically castrated, and essentially tortured, as we heard from Chloe. A Lunesta sleep ad or a commercial is required by law to list side effects, yet predatory organizations like Planned Parenthood put out cute cartoons for little children touting puberty blockers without listing the terrifying consequences of puberty blockers, such as cancer risks, decreased bone density, and mental turmoil. They are not reversible. The push to drug and mutilate innocent kids is about money and power. It's become a billion-dollar industry, and liberal politicians are using vulnerable children as pawns to look like they care. I am so grateful to God that nobody ever convinced me that my beautiful, natural, perfect body was somehow wrong. I have 80,000 followers across social media, and I will not stop trying to save children today who are just like I was. I have flyers for anybody interested in my fight. In history, if you look at Native Americans, or even we as human beings when we were cavemen, no little child would ever look at their genitalia or their breasts and naturally want to cut them off. This is a result of grooming. Any honest investigation of these procedures and the consequences of them will lead to one conclusion: it's horrifying child abuse. Telling a girl that because she is tough, because she is strong, because she is rough and tumble and she likes sports, telling her that that means she's a boy is sexist in itself. It is wrong to convince children that they are in the wrong body. Nothing could be more abusive or harmful to an innocent child like I was than to be told something is so wrong with you that we have to cut off your body parts. So let kids express themselves. If a kid wants to wear a darn dress, let him wear the dress. If a girl wants to shave off her hair and dye it purple and be all, whatever, God bless her, but leave their bodies alone. Again, I'm Lady MAGA USA, speaking on behalf of Gays Against Groomers, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Hey. Hey there. Hey, sports fans. Welcome back to your favorite sports show on the internet. It's The System Is Down, where we talk about sports. In sports news today, we've got amazing stories like Tom Brady retiring and Brett Favre getting a bunch of welfare and wasn't supposed to. Okay, that's enough of the sports talk, because sports are gay. We're going to talk about something else. Something else less gay than sports. P-tapes and other things. It might be a little uncomfortable, but it has to happen because that's what this show is. It's the uncomfortable show. And also, as the great and beautiful Sam Smith once said, I'm not here to make friends. Go share this show with your friends, and let's get weird.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that. I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke! We are still here!
We have to say yes to social justice.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time, wherever you're listening to this. Maybe we have some people on the other side of the world, upside down in China. I can currently see the sun and the moon both in the sky. I wonder what they're seeing. I don't really know. But to all of you, wherever you are, whatever you're seeing in the night sky, welcome to The System is Down, where we talk about the conspiracies, the politics, the religion, and all the things that make you uncomfortable. And before we do that, wow, it got real quiet all of a sudden. Before we do that, I got to remind you about my favorite personal sponsor, and I'm gonna need a drink for this because it keeps getting longer. But you guys in the Downers Club, people like RJ, JC, Justin Savoy, Justico Mitchell, Denise Cox, Dave Casey, Adam Choate, Matthew Wallace, Autumn, Kimberly, Alex, Gid Kid, Break the Bell, Gigi Vaughn, Mike Stonehouse, Cole Hefflem, Zwizzles, SDG, at Level Zero, Brian Johnson, Jack Casey, Javari, Paul Brandenberger, Joe Kabinski, Derek Evans, John Odermatt, Nathan Sipes, Mary Rome, Leela Turner, William Wells, and a whole bunch of other people. If you want to get on that degenerates list and possibly have your name read at some point, go on over to patreon.com/The System is Down and sign up for the Downers Club now. Do it now, because right after this show, we're going to do more show, and it's going to be spicier show, and it's going to be even funner show in the Downers Club. And if you want to be a part of that, and if you want to support this show, go to patreon.com/The System is Down, and you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content there. Now, let's talk about some news. And, as always, I am joined, again, by the amazing, the one and only, Dave Casey.
What's up, man?
America's favorite asshole. Dave, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, bro. Feeling the white pill today. Good mood. Interviewed Monica Perez last night. Kind of a peak so far in the podcasting journey for me. Other than, of course, being on this show, dude. Yeah, it was really great. Props to her, and go check that out. Yeah.
What topics did you guys get into on that episode?
Kicked it off with Ron Paul. We broke down on that ASAP. Definitely kind of the Fourth Industrial Revolution was kind of the lens through which we looked at the entire podcast. But yeah, talked about propaganda, obviously, because it's everywhere and it's everything. Operation Mockingbird and everything.
Yeah.
Man, we got into it. Jordan Peterson, and I wanted to hit. I had so many.
Does she think he's a Fed?
No, but I did ask her who. We played a game of like, all right, I'm going to name a name, and you tell me, is it a controlled op? Is it a real hero? Is it a limited hangout? All these things. Right. It was a lot of fun.
You should have put clone in there as one of the options too, and make it a game show.
Fuck. Next time, dude. You should have heard some of the stuff. She's not a flat earther, but she doesn't believe that dinosaurs ever existed.
Wow.
So I know.
I don't think I've ever heard the dinosaurs without the flat Earth. Usually it starts with the Earth shape thoughts, and then you get into the dinosaur stuff. But nice.
This is a brilliant person too, like highly educated, Harvard, Stanford, law, like all this stuff. So. Yeah.
Haven't talked about it much on the show, actually, the dinosaurs didn't exist theory, but I find that to be a fascinating one as well. I've dug into it just a little bit. If
Now I
anybody knows anybody who's really into that, I doubt Monica wants to go around being the dinosaurs are fake person. But if anybody knows anybody who's really into that, send them my way because I'm interested. But we have to address something. We have to clear the air, the elephant in the room, Dave. Last week's episode got banned.
Slap.
Did you watch the video? Me explaining what happened.
A good bit of it, yes.
Yeah.
Very sorry. I'm sorry. I'll take full responsibility for that, I suppose.
It's fine. I mean, literally, like the whole thing was like they took it down and they said it's medical misinformation. I was like, shit. And then I had to go. My daughter's birthday was last weekend, so I was like super busy all weekend with that, and I didn't have time to appeal or mess with it or anything. But I came back to it, and it was still down. But I didn't have the strike anymore because I got a hard strike saying I couldn't stream for another week or so. And when I came back, there was no strike and there was no the warning for medical misinformation. When I clicked on it, it said this content or this information was unavailable. So I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized, oh, they took it off. Great. I don't know why they took it off, but they still had the video down because of copyright strike for Power Slap. And that like of all the things for them to be offended by in last week's episode, to take it down, going with the copyright strike for Power Slap is my personal favorite because, yeah,
It wasn't even the new UFC branded Power Slap either. It
Right.
was like the one from Romania that wasn't even the right one.
well, we
This
played the
reminds me of,
trailer
like-
for the new Power Slap too. We played the trailer, and that's what they give the strike for.
Oh, that was the one.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. I thought it was for the Romanian sideways face guy.
yeah,
That makes
no.
more sense. Well, fuck those guys then. Seriously. But it reminds me kind of how they got Al Capone. Like they probably are looking for any reason to get
Yeah.
you, and there was no medical misinformation. So it's like,
Right.
well, there is this copyright.
Right.
It's like, you can go after whatever you want. I guess,
Right.
at some point.
And even if there was medical misinformation, the extent of our discussion, I think, was pretty much just playing the clip and then you going, he's right. Like that.
Right.
That's our sin and our crime. You just agreeing with a video.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, with the did you see my? Because I filled out the appeal and all that and got the video back. In the appeal, there's like your description of why you think that this was an unfounded strike or whatever. And did you see my response there? What I said to them?
I think I got up to the part where you were like, well, I got to this and I didn't feel like filling it out. So I just,
Oh no,
bailed out.
I filled this out.
You, you did do it. Okay.
So in the why is your use of the claimed content an example of fair use, and this is required. And I said this segment is direct commentary on the complete dystopian level of absurdity of the slapping face trailer. Believe me, if I wanted to steal someone else's work, Power Slap would be the furthest thing from my choice. I don't want your silly trailer. I want my right to make fun of it with my friends, which is what we did, which would fall under commentary, also known as fair use.
That's actually quite beautiful, dude.
Thank you.
I hope that you got some reviewer at YouTube who's not a complete mutant that's like, you know what? This guy seems cool. Let's give him a fair shake. That was funny.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't laugh at it, then what's the point? But it brought me joy just knowing that because they send these reviews to the person. If the Power Slap folks were the ones making the claim on this, they had to go in and read this and review it. So it brought me joy knowing that probably somebody at Power Slap had to read that too.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
Anyway, thank you, Dave, for that. Let's not have that again.
I'll be back with some great ideas next week, bro.
That's right. Why
See
next
who else
week?
we
We got plenty this week. Let's get
right.
into it.
Bring it
and,
on.
let's get banned again. That is not my goal, dear people at YouTube. I'm not trying to get banned. This is on you. We are just making fun of things with our friends. Now, the good news for this week is actually good news, and we don't know much about it yet, but all we know is all that matters, and that's King of the Hill getting a reboot, and I've got mixed feelings, but I choose to be naive and hope for the best. Do you have any thoughts, Dave?
No, because, well, I never really watched this show, but I like, I know. I can do actually a pretty good impression of the guy. They was doing so much damn whacking in the tool shed. But Hank Hill. I like the creator. What's his name? Mike Judge. Everything he does is pretty cool. But no, I never got
Same
into
guy
the
who
show.
made Idiocracy.
Yeah, beautiful. Beavis and Butthead. Awesome. But no, I don't know the show very well.
You're wrong. And for all the movies that I haven't watched, we're going to have to watch King of the Hill together, too, in our hangouts.
For every movie, you will watch an entire series of cartoons that
Yes.
spanned a decade.
I mean,
of my
there's
childhood.
13 seasons of King of the Hill. Yeah, you could watch an entire season for every movie, and that would still be a lot of movies to get through on my end. But yes, it's great.
So you love the show.
I do. I love the show. It's a very dry sense of humor. It's very Midwestern stuff, like making fun of. It's a lot of what I grew up with, quite frankly, and that's what makes it hilarious to me. But
Okay.
yeah,
It's all coming together now.
right now, I do have some concern that since they're on it's going to be on Hulu, and Disney owns Hulu, I'm pretty sure, and they own King of the Hill now, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm concerned that they're going to go the path to destruction that most reboots go these days with the wokeness. I don't know. Do you know anything about Mike Judge's character outside of the shows? Because he seems to be pretty not into the woke stuff at the very least. But
That's what I was going to say. And they did. I don't have the network. I don't know the one it's on. It might be Paramount. I think that's who owns Nickelodeon and all that stuff. But they did a Beavis and Butthead like brand new season, and I've heard that it was pretty good. Like if you liked that show in the '90s, they've updated it. But
I did see a clip of the new Beavis and Butthead series, which that's a show that I never really got into. But I saw a clip of the new season that made me want to watch it, and it was put out as a promo, and it's Beavis and Butthead are told that they have white privilege, and they can do whatever they want, and they can get away with it because they have white privilege, and they take it literally, and they go around just beating the shit out of people and stuff because they have white privilege, and they're explaining it as white privilege. I'm like,
just
that's
based
great.
on that, you
great.
can probably the rest of that show is probably pretty good if that's where their head's at.
I hope so. Shame on Dave. Go back right now. I don't. It says
Go
CD.
back.
I don't know what that means. Go back, Dave.
Go back to where you came from.
That's right. Go back to your hole. Go back to your
Sorry.
little podcast with Monica
CD.
Perez. Ooh.
Yeah.
Now.
Kind of a big deal.
Yes. Moving on. We got to talk about the Associated Press got themselves into a pickle this week. Perhaps you've seen it. They put out this post up here saying, we recommend avoiding general and often dehumanizing, quote, the labels, such as the poor, the mentally ill, the French, the disabled.
Sorry.
Yep, you're right. The college educated. Instead, use wording such as people with mental illnesses. Instead of the French, use people with mental illnesses. And use these descriptions only when clearly relevant. Now, they responded to their own post, I'm sure, because of the beautiful ratioing that they received. They responded to it by saying, the use of the French in this tweet by AP was inappropriate and has caused unintended offense. An updated tweet is coming. Now, I found the updated tweet as well, and wouldn't you know it, it's this. We recommend avoiding general and often dehumanizing the labels such as the poor, the mentally ill, the disabled, the college educated. Instead, use wording such as people with mental illness. Now, all they did was take out the French in this. It's the exact same post without the French. They still thought this was a
That
point.
one's okay.
Right. I mean, there's the college educated in this, lumped in with the mentally ill and the disabled. So maybe they're based. Maybe they're secretly based because they're like, we mentally ill people, disabled people, French people, college fucking dorks, all these. Just be nice to them because they can't handle the word the. There's a lot to unpack here, Dave, but I want to get your thoughts.
Man, I don't have that many. I don't know, Lloyd. The French are assholes. Does that say
You mean people with French disabilities?
Right. Does that say 3.3 million views? It's
yes.
And 297 likes. It's far away from me, but is that right?
Yes. That's what it says. Yes.
Shit,
And
man.
the original. Let's see how many that had before it got taken
AP
down.
needs help.
The original had 39.4 thousand likes, which I imagine most people were liking it because they thought it was as hilarious as I found it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is
Now-
man.
Setting the French, the college educated, and other retarded people aside, Just this statement on its own, saying the disabled or the mentally ill, is worse than saying people with mental illnesses. Can you wrap your brain around what that means and why the changes the context here?
I can't exactly, but I imagine, I mean, this is what they do though, right? They want to like when they change the language up, it changes your thinking up. So I don't know exactly what the angle is, but yeah, it's awfully shady. Why do you want to, it's the exact same thing. Yeah. And before it was mentally ill, it was something else, right? We used something that wasn't quite as PC as that.
Jack,
mentally insane. I think that might have been it. Like you were mentally insane.
Just Jack Casey's comment. Jack Casey says, "Fine instead of the Jews." I would say the financially abled. Thank you, Jack Casey. Grumpy Gnome says, "I just avoid the French." That makes sense, but I think that makes you an ableist, and you should probably get that looked at. Now, speaking of the mentally ill and ableism and phobias and all sorts of fun things, Dave, you got any history with Sam Smith?
I know he wrote that Slow Jam, and then Tom Petty.
A lot of them, yeah.
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 Well, he had that one. No, I'm not a big fan. But,
I am.
He's got a lovely singing voice.
He does, and I love him. I think he's great. He's a great musician, great singer, great songwriter, even though he keeps writing the same sad shit song. I liked his first couple albums, and it's trickled down a bit, kind of fell off, but I was a fan. I'm a big fan of this guy. When I thought he was straight, I was a fan. When he came out as gay, I was still a fan. When he started writing songs about his gay relationships and just doing it openly, I was still a fan. And up until like roughly, I don't know, yesterday, I was a fan of this guy. And then yesterday, or the day before, I don't remember, this new music video comes out, and it's just, I gotta say, so
You went for a ride down the slippery slope, dude.
Yes,
you went for the whole ride.
And then when I got to the bottom, I realized what was making the slope slippery, and it was just piss everywhere. And then I was like, no, it's just not for me anymore. But now his transition into whatever he is now has been going on for quite some time. I made this piece of art. This says, this is an art piece I made. I call it Don't Go to College. Haha. Anyway, so there's the before and the after, and I've been seeing, he keeps posting up pictures of how, proud he is of his new body and everything, and I'm like, I don't see it, man. Like, you do you, boo, but I don't see what you're so proud of exactly.
Does he know how many more dudes he could get if he would lose the bitch tits and the jelly rolls?
Yeah, I don't. So I kind of think. I hate to say this, but I kind of think the weight gain is because he was losing relevance, and now he's got he's got more victim points. Like he was gay, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, fine. And then he was like, I'm actually non-binary, and everybody's like, whoa. It's like, okay, who cares? I'm they them. I'm they them. So I'm transitioning into multiple people, so I must be the size of multiple people as well. I am two men combined into one. I am a gay relationship within myself. Anyway, he did the non-binary thing. Whatever. I was still listening to the music. Didn't care. Like, music has nothing to do with that. And then he starts posting up pictures like this. I'm like, I just like, ew. Let me just say, for anybody who thinks that I don't like Sam Smith because I'm a homophobe, I was gay for Sam Smith up until he did this shit. The gayer Sam Smith gets, the less gay for Sam Smith I am. So, maybe that came out wrong. That sounded much
and you listen
more...
to all kinds of gay music. Nobody can take that away from you, bro.
That's right. I like the emo stuff. I'm into it. But yeah, once he started posting up the Speedos and fat pictures, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I think it's kind of like he sees Lizzo and her fame. Lizzo, another, amazing singer and all that, artist, whatever. But then you see the antics that she does in the, hey, look at me, look how fat I am and how happy and how proud I am of my health. And it's like just off-putting. I don't care if you're fat and a good singer. I care if you're like, you know, I don't know, just like bragging about how fat you are, and we're supposed to accept it as beautiful. Otherwise, we're homophobic or what have you, or fatphobic. No, you're unhealthy, sir, and you might have been unhealthy before. Like I've heard people say, like, oh yeah, an eating disorder, and that's why he was so skinny. It's like, well, now he's got a different eating disorder. It's the same thing in reverse. Yeah. So this video came out this week. And I just can't. There was a line somewhere, and the line for me was somewhere between like fat Speedo pictures and fat corset dingleberries hanging out the bottom with moob pasties, and even then I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm cool with this. This might be a step too far. With all of this, but okay, the song's still okay, and then they start like pissing on him, a shower of piss. See, it's just art. That is art right there, my friends. What is the target demographic for this?
Children.
You think?
Bro, where do music videos get played? On the networks that play fucking, you know, Teen Mom and shit like that. Yeah, I have a theory, dude. I don't think that like he's going through this thing that's like, you know, his own personal journey. It's like, just like we were talking about Elton John a couple weeks ago, man. These people are influencers, right?
Yeah.
There's a narrative, and the narrative needs to get pumped. And if you don't want to sing it, you fat weirdo, then we'll find another fat weirdo who will do this thing and get pissed on. You know what I'm saying? So like, and these people are all shallow enough. Like they want to be famous so badly. They've already sold their soul. That's why they all, who's that guy who did the song with Billy Ray Cyrus and like sucked him in with the country
Lil Nas
jam?
X. Yeah.
Lil Nas X. And then everything is satanic, fucking demonic shit from here on out.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga wearing meat shirts, you know, like a decade ago. That's just the beginning of it.
Yeah.
But that's the narrative. Like everybody gets their beats made from the same guy, and everybody talks about fucking getting. Well, this is brand new shit. Like it's really brave and awesome to get pissed on and stuff.
Right.
But it's a race to the bottom.
Right.
And if you want to be the number one singer, then you're getting fucking pissed on, bro.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yes, my conspiracy brain certainly goes there as well. For me, like, I can see this both ways. Like, either this is like conspiracy, just manipulation shit. Like, even taking the conspiracy out of it entirely, which I don't entirely, but setting that aside, what is like? If this is just an artist making art for art's sake, like what is the demographic? What would his explanation of the demographic be for this? Like on the surface level, if you don't think it's a conspiracy or evil plot, who are you like pushing for to enjoy? Like the song has nothing to do with this. The song has nothing to do with him dressing in whatever that is and performing this act. It's just thrown in there, and it's like, who is this appealing to? Is it just degenerates? Is it just people who enjoy peeing on each other for sport? Or like, because who else is watching this?
You have to be a gay degenerate too. Like there's all kinds of degenerates, but you're like really hyper focused on like a niche audience of gay, you know, not like unfit people. Like just, it really is scummy, dude. I don't know. Yeah. Who's your target, bro?
I don't know, but it makes me sad. And like you said, it's a race to the bottom, because even if this is just him making art and trying to be edgy for edginess' sake to get attention, first off, it worked, so congrats. And secondly, like, I mean, we've had Marilyn Manson, we've had Madonna. Like, people are like, oh, this isn't that big a deal because those people did stuff. Yeah, but did any of them, like, in a pop song, in a pop hit, like, have a room full of dudes peeing on them with their mouth open?
Well, that's interesting you mentioned that, dude, because I think that again, I can speak as the resident old guy. Like this guy's mom was listening to fucking Madonna with the cone tits and like wanted to, you know, truth or dare, like in the 90s, right? So he's getting neglected. And his mom's into weird shit, probably drinking too much, doing drugs. And a generation or so goes by. You got again the race to the bottom. Like I can't imagine what the videos are going to be like in 20
I'm
more
sure,
years.
Sure, his mother's so proud of this
God.
mom.
Again, I want to apologize to the Christian evangelicals of the 1990s for my mistake. That's my bad.
You had some things wrong, but you had not everything was wrong. Yes, the slippery slope was lubricated with urine and other things that we will not speak of. But yeah, so if this is just him trying to be edgy, I just imagine there was like, I don't know, was there a boardroom of people where a bunch of individuals sat around a desk and had a conversation about, now we need to go edgy. We've done the whole gay thing, the non-binary thing, all this stuff. We need to go edgy. What can we do that nobody else has done? Oh, let's have a room full of dudes piss in your mouth. Okay, yes, that's a great idea. Like, I don't know, man. I'm into edgy, but this is just like, you're like...
A lot of people checked the box off on that one. Yep, that's
right,
great.
Right.
That's what we should do.
Now, imagine if you want to people have said like, oh, straight female artists have done this for years. And it's like, yeah, but if Katy Perry came out and simulated 2 girls, 1 cup for her next music video, I think you would probably find that to be gross as well. Like, this has nothing to do with gayness. And if I was a gay dude, I would be off put by this because this dude's like a spokesperson for your movement. And this is his representation of you. I don't know. Right. It's gross.
I'm with you. And I think he's probably the last guy to get the memo that you're doing a piss video. But look at him. He's fucking taking all that piss.
I mean, once they talked him into wearing the nipple pasties and corset with his moobs bulging out of it, I bet it wasn't that hard of a sell. If he's down with one, he's probably fine with the other.
Yeah.
Anyway. And it's also confusing, like the non-binary thing. Like, I just thought about this morning. I posted on Twitter. Like, Sam Smith's biggest hit is "Stay With Me," and there's lines like, "I still need love because I'm just a man." Like, it's his biggest hit. He has to sing that every night, right? Does he change that now? I still need love because I'm just a them. Is that what he's going with?
Oh man, and you did say it too, but like it should be reiterated that song is a banger. Like he's
got a lot of bangers, yeah.
That song's the music is really good. These guys, when they're pumping out their top-notch propaganda to hypnotize you, it's gonna be with some fucking sweet production.
The Illuminati makes good music. I will give them that. Yeah. Even on his new album, I listened to a little bit of it last night, and I'll probably listen to more of it and just see how much of it I can tolerate. Just for the music's sake. I mean, I don't know if I could ever get that visual out of my head, though, when I'm listening to it. So it kind of puts a dampen on the whole thing. It makes it a little too moist for me. But
he ruined it.
Yeah. His subject matter doesn't offend me in his music and stuff like his second newest song, I think, is called Unholy, and it's all edgy, like, oh, daddy's going to the strip club and mommy doesn't know, or something like that. Like the subject matter is like gross still, but it's a fucking banger, dude. Like that thing will get stuck in your head for days, and that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Anyway, moving on to something entirely different because he's non-binary and not trans. We're going to talk about some trans stuff now. And just like the Gays Against Groomers guy said at the beginning, I don't have a problem with trans people, but I do have a problem with certain people who happen to be trans. This individual is one of them.
All right, now, I'm going to do a quick little cheers that I normally do. I mean, I know there's little babies here, but close your ears. This is just a tradition that all shows normally do. So raise your glasses. Cheers to you. Cheers to me. Cheers to the ones that lick us where we pee. Yeah!
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then dudes dance around in thongs in front of kids, and then the classic tale. The kids come and pick up the money later on, and they scurry back to their seats so they can watch more dudes dance around in thongs. Cheers to you, cheers to me, cheers to those who lick us where we pee, is the poem that this brave individual felt the need to say in front of kids, even while prefacing, saying, I know there's kids here, and this is inappropriate for kids, and I'm going to say it anyway. Like, what more evidence do you need?
These people are fucking disgusting. You know who doesn't like jokes like that? Human men and human women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why lick us where we pee? What the fuck's the matter with you? Like, it's not hot to say to, like, it's not, and it's just,
They're
it's so
working on
gross.
it. Sam Smith's pushing it.
Right. Oh my God.
Like, I mean, even as far as like, to not, I mean, I don't know if I can be more crass than that, but not to be crass, but even like when you're discussing oral sex, who describes it like that? Like, ew.
Demons, fucking
Yes.
mutants, bro. Right. People that have artificially constructed vaginas and, you know,
Oh, we're going to talk
had
about
their-
those in a minute, too.
had
We've
their
got a fun day
penises
today,
butterflied
Dave.
and tucked up inside them. Look, it's better than a real one. Sure, buddy.
Fresh off an unbanning. Let's go there. Yeah. Do you remember, like, I don't know, was it a year ago, 2 years ago, when child-friendly drag shows, quote unquote, never happen, and then they almost never happen, and then they happen sometimes, but it's good, and then it's normal, and if you don't love it, you're a bigot. Well, now
Very
we're
familiar.
to cheers to those who lick us where we pee, kids. Like, that.
All those
It's been
adults.
like 2 years.
Yeah. All those adults in that room clapping, like entertained. No one. It's just so
Yep.
bizarre, dude.
Yes. I should also mention, now that we are 38 minutes into the episode, if you want to drop a fake super chat, feel free to do that in the chats. Put all caps fake super chat if you have something you want me to read. Otherwise, I'm going to ignore you for the most part because of my attention deficits. But also, you can call in at 309-716-3818. I know I've said that the last couple weeks and then forgot to open up the Skype to make the phone lines available, but they are available today. If you would like to call in, please do it at any point and interrupt the show. I would enjoy it, and we will make fun of you. 309-716-3818. It's down there at the bottom of the screen. Do it. Now, you brought this up in the last segment. It seems relevant. Trans vaginas need to be discussed for some reason. And I don't say
I'm
this
an
because
expert.
I don't say, are you? What do you know about him, Dave?
Better than the real, bro. It's like nature plus, you know?
Yes. I don't want to discuss this. If you have children and they're in the room, still, you're a bad parent already. But if you leave them in the room while I read this next segment, just don't. Just
You're Sam Smith.
Send them away for a moment. You can tell them to come back in a minute. But we got to read this article from iqfy.com so you know it's legit. It reads, encourage women to smell their poop to be more inclusive to trans women. Do I have to? Some women have a hole where their penis used to be, and that hole often shares microbiome with the colon, creating a distinct transitioning odor. In solidarity with trans women this month, you can make a difference by putting your olfactory system to use with... it's too small. Hold on. Nope, I'm increasing the wrong thing. You can put your olfactory system to use while going number 2. Yes, it's not a joke. We are sincerely asking all women to please spend more time smelling their poo during bathroom breaks and to critically examine what many of our gender have to endure as part of the cost of bottom surgery. It is time for us all to do the work to truly empathize with the sights, sounds, and smells endured by every member of our large, beautiful gender community, including those with distinct transitioning odors. And this goes on to discuss a man who hooked up with a trans woman, and he couldn't believe the horrible smell emitting from her, and she couldn't smell it, and he was grossed out, and he was like, "Is this normal?" And he asked his friends, and everybody was like, "I don't know. I don't. None of that sounds normal to me." But so now, for equality, women.
Baby, why's your pussy smell like a butthole? Sorry.
I mean, it's a fair
Yikes.
question.
This is why trans people get murdered at a higher rate than normal people. Like, wait a second.
Is this? I mean, I tried to. I wanted to believe that this was fake, and it didn't. I tried looking through the rest of the site to make sure that it wasn't fake, and I can't. It doesn't seem to be fake. This is sadly a real article that somebody wrote. And this it says, quote, "As I was transitioning, I found it triggering that my cisgender female friends didn't smell like poo." The top of the fateful note read, "It had arrived by way of the Trans Express." It has to be fake, right? This can't be real. That people are saying these words in this order and doing so for a profession without a smirk on their face.
I love it that it's from what I can understand, this is a trans woman who wants women to understand my struggle of my smell. You don't smell like this. It's just fucking. Why don't you understand me?
Oh, that's reading on. That's what they called it there. The relatively small but respected Canadian school had just set up an anonymous tip box for. Oh, wait, that's not the one I wanted. Hold on. Okay, let's read this. One night I was going down on her. So she washed her bits before she, again, kids, get out of the room. Even if your parents are terrible, if you understand the words I'm saying, run away. It's on you now. Save yourself from hell. One night I was going down on her, so she washed her bits before she came into the bedroom, and she laid on my bed. I was about I need like some sexy music to play while I'm reading this. Hold on. I was about a few inches from her face when I noticed a foul smell that I can best describe as stale urine, cheesy, and a bit like feces. I've heard of post-op MTF smells, but I've read most people saying that they go away quickly after transition. Anyway, I backed away because I was so off-put by that smell. She just kept asking what's wrong, and finally, I broke down and told her what's wrong. She was confused and kept smelling herself, saying she didn't smell anything. She said she'd just washed it too. It's been a fight between me and her, and she's self-conscious about it. I asked if it could be an infection, or her hygiene habits, lifestyle, or diet, because I know those things can affect the smell of the vagina. She told me that's just the way her vagina and all vaginas smell. Spoken by somebody who's never smelled one, obviously. Wow. She told me it didn't smell like what I described it as, and it just smelled like vagina. I tried asking my mother about what it could be, and she couldn't give me any answers because she's not informed on this topic. I tried asking my gay cousin, but she didn't have any answers either. I was wondering if anyone in here could give me some advice on this. Do transgender women just have a different smell down there than cis women? Is that just her natural smell? If so, what can I do to get used to that smell?
Bro, the chat is just as uncomfortable as I am right now. By the way, with the heartbeat thumping in the background, it was more like I felt like I was going to get assaulted and maybe murdered. Less than hot.
You should feel that way. Yes, you were a little bit assaulted there, I believe. Yeah.
I feel like that might have been a NAT violation.
Partially, yes. You're welcome. I did give you all fair warning. Stop. Make it stop. Yes. You just a bunch of transphobes in the comments section. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why we attract the TERFs and Jack Casey, who's a transphobe. I think that's a thing. Self-loathing trans. You can't go down on an ass. You just eat. Thank you, CD. Thank you for that. Fake super chat from Grumpy Gnome. My butt stinks too. Yeah. Yep. So, Dave, you got any thoughts? Any thoughts on this poetry?
I mean, if this is real,
it seems to be.
Yeah, then I feel really bad for the guy who came upon that. You know, for the first. You're telling me you just showered? Like you just showered? Because this smells like, something else. It doesn't just smell like a butt. It smells like a brand new creation. I've never even.
Smells like an open wound mixed with a butt. Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. This smells like a rotting creature.
Now, Dave, as a straight man, I'm pretty sure that you identify as a straight man, correct?
Correct. This week, yeah.
Right. Now, as a straight man this week, if you were dating somebody, you took her back to your house, she tricked you the whole way along, and you went to go down on her, which would you be more off-put by? A penis? Or whatever it was I just described?
Fuck. I'm thinking about it. Like, first of all, I'm not thinking about anything except like a hate crime. That's all what I'm thinking. I don't know. Either way, I'm like, well,
either way, I'm going to jail.
I'm right. Oh, fuck. I guess the dick is better because like you wouldn't get any further than like your erection just stabbed me. We've been making out, bro, and you just fucking stabbed me with your penis.
And also, I'm glad it's there because the alternative sounds way worse to me.
Right. Oh, and I don't know how realistic those things are. I imagine not like but you would have already gotten to like at least second or third base by that point. You would not, if there's a penis, you're not getting. That's not happening.
You've already touched those fake plastic, very round boobies. Yes.
Right.
And yeah. You've moved on to wounds.
But you've mentioned this before, dude. Who's that woman that hangs around with Michael Malice and Alex Jones?
Blair White.
Okay, you compare that person to who's the person that you had on your podcast at one time that's very popular with trans people? Trampa.
Buck Angel?
Right. So you have a biological man there and there's a biological woman.
Mm-hmm.
To have your pick.
Right.
Which one would you? That's a really difficult question. I don't know how to answer that, sir. Madam?
I mean, I got to be honest. Blair is a lot hotter than Buck is, and I think Buck would agree with that sentiment.
Right. But, there has to be a line somewhere. I don't know where it is, but don't trick people. Don't trick people into doing anything. Don't get back. Don't get into bed and go, wait a second.
Right. If there's any surprises, whip them out and put them on the table. First date. Let me know, and we'll go from there. Let me make informed decisions on things. And I mean, imagine if this trans woman was like, legitimately tricking this dude into believing that she wasn't trans. She was just a biological woman. And then she was passing enough, except for this smell that she has to explain and why she has to insert something into her vagina to hold it open so it doesn't grow back shut every night or all the time or whatever.
This is what happens when you make a deal with the devil, bro. Like, I'm born a man. I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. Okay, here you are. You're a woman. You smell like a rotting corpse, though.
I'm sorry.
It's very sad.
I mean, it's honestly, it's very sad for the trans person too, who I'm sure that wasn't in the brochure.
It
I'm
might
sure
drive the
didn't say
suicide
these
rates up,
things.
dude. It might be that bad.
I'm sure it was not in the pamphlet that once you have your beautiful new vagina, you'll have to keep propping it open with a door stop, and you'll have to smell like shit possibly for the rest of your life. Like that. Like I'm not like it's not to be mean that somebody would tell you these are the possibilities when you chop your dick off and then try and wedge it open with a device. Right. Like that should be real upfront in the discussions of whether or not you're chopping your dick off.
But people are doing this. So it's like, and you can't talk about it without getting called like a criminal or something. So like, but it is cause for alarm.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like this is the craziest thing that's happening today. People doing this to themselves.
It is.
I don't know. Oh, so crazy.
It is. And we're gonna keep talking about it a little bit. Somewhat related, kind of related. But
good, because I'm only half horny right now, dude. You need to get me all the way there.
Just got a semi right now. We'll get you there, Dave. Don't worry. But this next article was submitted by Danielle, who I think is in the chats, and she submitted it earlier today. So that makes it one of these.
This program was made possible by viewers like you.
Hey, get what you deserve!
All your days are belong to us.
No one can stop stop us from enjoying this, so enjoy it. Stop crying.
That's right. It's Freak of the Week, where you guys submit something and we talk about it. And the grosser and spicier and I don't know. I mean, I do have lines there too for links that I will not click on. But the funner the better. And this one just seemed perfect to follow up that last article. Potentially related, I'm not quite sure. But according to boingboing.net, which is definitely a legitimate news source, human penis found at gas station. No cause for concern, say police. Now, just based off the headline. Right. Good. I haven't read the article yet. We're going to read it together. But just from the headline, if the police say that there's no cause for concern from a severed penis found at a gas station, I only have to assume that it was an at-home transitioning or something, or a gas station transitioning, maybe a drive-by transitioning. I don't know. But if there's no cause for concern, that would mean that it had to be intentional, right?
I think so. Unless the police are lying to us. Yeah.
Unless the police are like, it's fine. None of us have dicks. Customers at a mobile Alabama gas station were upset by a real dick they encountered in the parking lot. Quote, "It was a whole dick," one employee said. Police arrived to collect the severed member and later commented that the incident is not being investigated as an assault or murder, and it gets stranger, according to the Daily Star. CCTV footage later seen by local reporters apparently shows a black truck pulling into a station at around 6:15 to fill up. The truck then pulls away before a penis then falls onto the car park tarmac. Once the report was made, a heavy police presence attended the store located in the port city of Mobile on Alabama Gulf Coast. The area was taped off while police investigated the incident, which has caused a stir in the local community. And that is all that we know about this.
Did anyone lose a dick? Local dick.
Just drop it in the lost and found box. It'll be fine. Put up a sign.
Right, somebody will claim it. If nobody claims it, we just get to keep it.
Dick found. It's wearing a little hat. It looks like this. Just put a picture of it up on the posts. Right. Yes. If seen or if it's yours, please call the local Mobile, Alabama. I don't know. Is there any explanation for this that isn't a cause for concern, Dave?
No, somebody got their dick chopped off. So somebody's, this is an emergency. Yeah. I don't think it was probably voluntary. So yeah, if the only possible case for this being something that somebody wanted was a back alley transition surgery, I'm going to say that that's not what happened. And somebody either, got their dick chopped off Lorena Bobbitt style or.
And if we've learned anything over the years of like people, cutting corners on getting tattoo work done, don't go the cheap route in any body modification. Pay all the money that you can. Get the best possible dick chopping off that you can get if you're going to get one. I wouldn't recommend it at all. But if you're going to, don't go to Mobile, Alabama Mobile. Is it mobile? Is it a mobile station in Alabama or is it
Mobile, Alabama?
Mobile, Alabama gas station.
If you have any information leading to the capture of this dick, report to the gas station where the dick was found.
Oh, I love it. It's great. Yeah, we've got some more to discuss, and we're getting a little long, but we're going to keep going. Before we keep going, though, let's take a little break. And speaking of, I don't know, dickless people and transitions and just general debauchery, getting pissed on all sorts of things, have you guys read Jack Casey's books? Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic, cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. Today's episode is sponsored by Astero's Cybersecurity Services. These days, organizations of all sizes are targets for cyber criminals, disgruntled employees, or even nation-state attackers. Astero's performs cybersecurity services providing expert guidance to help organizations defend against threats and protect their data. Astero specializes in penetration testing, where they perform ethical hacking on networks, web apps, or organizations as a whole to simulate what an attacker would do and plug the discovered holes before anyone malicious finds and exploits them. Asteros also specializes in vulnerability management, security awareness training, phishing simulations, cloud security audits, compliance readiness assessments, and much more. As technology expands, it becomes easier and easier to run a business, but if your security is not growing along with your company, then you're going to run into problems. If you don't personally have a company of your own, definitely pass this information along to someone who does, because for a limited time, Asteros is offering companies an attack surface audit completely free. Let Asteros discover potential entry points to your network and how susceptible your company or organization is to cyber attacks. To learn more and to take advantage of this essential offer, just go to asteros.com/free. That's Asteros, ASTEROS.com/free. There's the button. Hey, we're back. Hey guys, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that break. And to my sponsors, I'm not sure if you appreciate me putting up the degenerate comments over your ad, but they're there. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, just know that you're missing out on a lot. Anyway, we've got some fake super chats that we need to address here. Joey Two Gun says, fake super chat is tricking someone into making out with a trans person a NAP violation. I'm not sure. Dave, what do you think?
Honestly, that's a really good question. Right off the bat, yeah. Yeah, it fucking is.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't know. You want to explain? Because I'm not sure if I agree.
Oh man, I don't know. No, okay, it's coercion. So that's right.
It's shitty and dishonest if you know that it would potentially be a deterrence from them making out with you, and you coerce them into doing so under what you know to be false pretenses, then I guess that could be an app violation, maybe.
I mean, if people have like an issue with, like sexual assault, date rape, those kinds of things, you should really find this like along those lines somewhere. I don't know. That's real bad.
Yeah. If a kid's like been traumatized by his uncle or something as a child, and he grows up, and then some girl that he's fallen in love with whips out her dick, yes, that might be an act of aggression. I'm not sure.
But not just, if you were already like being intimate with somebody who was leading on that they were something they were not, like, again, I think that's probably, when people are up in arms about like, do you know that like trans sex workers are like way more likely to get murdered than the average people? It's like, okay, well, let's take a minute to look at why that might be true. It's like, because people probably don't know that a lot when they take some of these people wherever they take them. Yeah. I don't know. It's awful.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
I genuinely wonder if there's ever been somebody who's transitioned without being extremely depressed. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. And whether it's because people are bullying them for being different that pushes them to depression, yeah, sure, that's possible. Or whether it's them being groomed and then or them being depressed and then being groomed online to think that they're going to be some brave, beautiful woman if they do this thing or something, like depression. And then so they're probably a depressed person, I would be willing to bet beforehand. And then afterwards, there's a high suicide rate. I mean, it could be because people are still bullying them. I suspect it's probably because they were depressed and they thought this would fix it, and it didn't fix it. And not only that, but they now have a gaping hole that smells like shit sometimes. And that is something that would depress me, possibly to the point of suicide.
Bro, this is hell on earth. That's what hell, in my view, that's what hell would be.
Yeah.
Being trapped in, like, that's what they think it is. Oh, I'm trapped in a body that's not mine or something. Like you just wait. You wait till you're actually trapped.
Yeah. And you can't reverse that. Can't grow it back once you chop it off. Yeah, I don't know. It is if you feel trapped in a different body or you feel like you're born in the wrong body, I empathize with that very much and feel awful for you. And also, I don't think chopping body parts off is the answer. If you're an adult, you do you. Leave the kids out of it, but you do you. I don't. It's fine. I just don't think it's probably at least 99 times out of 100. I don't think it's the answer. Maybe for the Buck Angels or the Blair Whites of the world, who seem to still be mentally, well-rounded and able to, process logic and have discussions and things. They don't seem depressed. They seem like, yeah, I'm a trans person, and they understand what that means and how that differentiates them from biological men living as men and biological women living as women. It's a different thing, and I don't know. It's absurd. But more fake super chats before we move on. Fake super chat from the White Oak Brothers Band. The police never lie, Dave. The police never lie.
Noted. Thin blue line. Protect it.
Why didn't you know that?
I don't know. I apologize. Now I do. Yeah. Now fuck the police.
And fake super chat from Jack Casey. He says, look up the song Detachable Penis. Just trust me.
Word.
No. I think I have heard it, but
I already watched Sam Smith today.
Right. I've seen enough.
Go ahead.
I've seen enough. What is more brave, Sam Smith wearing the corset with his moobs bulging out of it, or Sam Smith wearing the ladies' undergarments, showing us just how small his dingleberries are, if they're still, in fact, attached?
It's also very brave.
It's also very sad.
It really is. It's like again, and you mentioned who's Lizzo. We should not be celebrating this.
Yeah.
This is not. Again, these people are influencers that
Right.
just happen to sound good.
Right.
Anybody could do this shit, but they want fat, gross, unhealthy bug eaters promoting climate change, trans agenda, rainbows, yeah. Fuck these people. They're the
It all
worst.
makes sense now. It's all adding up. The globalists.
Now, I should have probably at some point mentioned, I was going to say, hey, if you sent your kids out of the room, now's the time that they can come back. But no, there isn't a time, actually. There is no time where I'm going to tell you that you should bring your kids back into the room for this show. Because that's not who they're made for. Sharon, I'm looking at you. Now, this next one is very important for women's rights and women and girls of all ages. This comes from the United Nations. They had this statement to say. If it'll play.
Women and girls have to be placed at the center of climate decision making and action.
Says, hold on, let me read that. Multilateralism cannot reach its full potential in solving the climate crisis. Without women's equal participation, for all of humanity to thrive, women and girls must have equal opportunities to contribute to the environmental, social, and economic shifts why are we playing the music? Who cares? To contribute to the environmental, social, and economic shifts that the science calls for. The science calls for women to step up and do their part. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. The whole thing's burning down. And women, they're saying this, the way they're trying to present this is that we need more jobs for women in this field, basically. We need more women in these leadership positions so that we can fix this. They don't give any reason why they think women would be better at it, but they do. Okay. But the way this comes across to me is, women, you're 50% responsible for all this shit. Get up here, clean up our trash. What do you think, Dave?
I think it's a corporate tactic. Maybe in government too.
Yeah.
To put women in positions of power so that men can make them do what they want them to do. And I think that that's probably, if we're talking about the UN and the World Economic Forum, I think that has a lot to do with it. They're also trying to normalize, women soldiers, women working, getting out of the house. This is, a 3-generation-old plan to get women out of the home and make them tax slaves. And if they cared anything about climate change and all that stuff, that you would be happier if women were home and being mothers, and you wouldn't need to feed the corporate beast so much. But that's what's on the table.
Why do you hate women so much, you toxic man?
I'm sorry, I'm a vicious misogynist.
Why don't you want them to go to war and fight the climate like the rest of us, Dave? Is it because you hate women?
Because I'm trying to protect the sacred feminine energy that exists.
That's what I said. You hate women.
They want to destroy that shit. And yeah, I have one woman that I love, and she's everything to me. And I'm not trying to impress any other women, so I say what I want when I want to, and that's what. Honestly, I mean, I'm not saying women can't be like leaders and CEOs, but they're statistically.
But it's men that are calling for them to step their game up, basically.
Get out there and work.
We're going to tell you that this is for your sake, that you need to get up here and clean this shit. I don't know. Seems a little misogynistic to demand that women come in and clean or something. But Sharon says, in fairness, her daughter is playing Play-Doh right now, and she's wearing AirPods, asshole. I think she's talking to you because she said your name in that last one. But
okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Asshole.
Now,
so yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of women, this happened this week also. This was going around. Plus-size women admit they aren't attracted to overweight men. Now, just off the bat, you see anything interesting about this title, Dave?
Yeah, man, this is so consistent with what we've been talking about with Sam Smith and everything else. Like, there's a society that looks at those people and goes, these are our elites. These are our leaders. These are the standard bearers. That society is sick. The same society that goes, you need to accept trans children and all this shit, that a society that projects that is sick. Now, this is all not to say, bro, that we should not be empathetic and we should take care of people. And, in the 80s and 90s, if people were getting called fat all the time. Like in real life, and that was coming from like pop culture too. Faggot, you could throw that out in like a kids movie, like
Thanks,
Monster
Dave.
Squad in the 80s.
Thanks, Dave. We're gone now. Thanks, Dave.
You can't take that out. You can't say that. You can say that on YouTube, right?
Nazi fags.
The president can, so I can.
Exactly. But and I'm not saying that you should bully people with words like that. You should never disparage anybody. But I'm saying, you can't hold those people up like that. They should not have that confidence to be.
Yeah, you physically cannot hold those people up like that.
Like this fat lady has the audacity to say she's not attracted to fat men. Like what the fuck?
In fairness,
man?
I don't know if this is the lady in particular that's speaking, or if this is just some stock photo of a fat woman that they found. But I'm gonna blame her for this point.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I wanted to point out that, and many people have pointed out that, it's funny just how the title is written. Plus-size women aren't attracted to overweight men.
Overweight,
the shift in vernacular just within one sentence, speaking about two sets of fat people. It's amazing.
Amazing. And you know what, dude? That got by me the first time.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
You were excited. You were excited to talk about the fatties.
Yeah. The audacity of the fatty was what I was thinking. That's fucking bitch.
I think that's called fatdacity. But this says, as a plus-size woman, there's this expectation that you should only date overweight men. But what if you aren't attracted to plus-size men? These women open up about dealing with the stigma of being plus-size and refusing to settle and date overweight men. From dealing with harsh criticism to feelings of guilt for their preferences, find out what they had to say in these tell-all confessions. No, I don't think I will. But,
no.
Wow. So, first off, I don't care who you're attracted to. You can be attracted to the most niche market of foot fetish, Sam Smith liking piss people that you like. I don't care how niche your box is that you're attracted to. You're allowed to be attracted to that. You can be attracted to only skinny white dudes, or only skinny black dudes, or only tiny Asian dudes, God
Bro,
forbid.
a created. You just said how niche your box is. I feel like that could be that could be like a created vagina. How niche is your box? Well, it's fucking. There's nothing like you've ever. This is completely unique.
Is it all natural?
There's a serial number on the side of this iron vagina.
Oh, the doctor tattooed his name into it, but he was really proud of it. But so. Yeah, like you can be attracted to whoever you want. I don't care, but just know that the more niche your attraction is, the harder it's going to be to find somebody who gives a shit, especially if you're not, how do I say this? Typically the attractive body type that most people are looking for. It might make your dating a little bit more challenging if you're not into people who, I don't know, are similarly weighted to you, or, you know, and just this idea that it's like it's not body shaming because it's just fat dudes that we're talking about here on the other side of this thing. But these women, they deserve better than that. So you're like insulting people who are fat while saying that you should be loved and adored for your fatness.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I like, what do you do with this? This is a The Onion article. Fat women are mad because people expect them to be with fat men. It's like, who gives a shit who you're dating? Who is out there saying, I can't believe you're with a skinny guy? No, they would probably be like, congratulations. We're shocked.
But can you imagine, like, if it was just like a regular, I don't know, just like, okay, me, I'm like, all right, I'm like a skinny, like fucking nerd. I'm like barely 5'8". Well, I only date like chicks that are like 10s. Like it's just like it's
right.
I don't know. Bikini
so you're saying
models,
you don't date, huh?
I'm just saying, like, somebody have the audacity to
Right.
be like, well, I'm so awesome that and you're definitely not. Like, even if you were, like, that would be crazy. But if you're just like an average Joe or a total fatty, like, that's fucking insane, man. You can't let these people have that kind of level of confidence, because that leads to this insanity where we have
Right.
to like entertain it. You know, why do we have to entertain other people's mental illness? I don't. It's not.
We have to praise it. We have to sing along to the song, and
right.
Yeah. I'm gonna think about Sam every time I take a pee now, and now that I've said that, I will, and I regret saying it because of that. But, yeah, date who you want. Good luck. I'm Godspeed. I don't care about your sad story about not liking people the same size as you. You fat phobe, you piece of shit, whatever. Like, go date who you want. I don't care. Find somebody who will put up with your attitude first, because I have a feeling you're probably an insufferable wench.
And overweight. You're overweight too.
To boost, yes.
If that guy's overweight, you're overweight.
Yes. Now, speaking of uncomfortable things, let's talk about You People for a second, because that came out this last week too. And I don't watch movies often. I just happened to stumble across this. I hadn't even heard about it until the day it came out. I heard about it, went and watched it that day, because I just happened to have some free time in the evening. And I have some thoughts. Dave, I know you started watching it, and you said your lady fell asleep, I'm pretty sure. But what's your experience so far in this movie?
Definitely racially charged.
Yes.
A movie, but I'm about halfway through it. I fell asleep about halfway.
Mm-hmm.
The verdict isn't in if it's like sicko propaganda or if it's trying to do the right thing. Because I think
it's trying, but it's trying from a leftist perspective, so it still has like some woke tidbits. I think for all in all, I thought this movie was great. The storyline kind of is trash, and it's kind of just a joke sketches like all mashed together, and it's kind of the same joke sketch over and over again at some point, and the ending is a little without spoiling it, it's very conveniently wrapped up just very quickly with almost no issue at all at the end. But yeah, as far as like it being a great movie, it's not. As far as it being like kind of anti-woke, and not really like anti-woke as in like MAGA hat, fuck these pussies, whatever, but like just from a liberal perspective, somebody who's like, hey, we need to be able to joke about these things. It's showing the two different sides to two different cultures, with the dad, the father figure, Eddie Murphy, who's like the dad of the girl. So anybody who's not familiar, black girl falls in love with white dude, Jonah Hill, who's like into like hip hop culture and stuff like that. And he runs a podcast. So he's like people don't like him in his normal white culture and his Jewish background of his very white Jewish family. His family's kind of insufferable, and her family's kind of insufferable because they're Muslim or whatever. And so you just see like the clashing of these two different worlds and different cultures. And for the most part, it's done in kind of a loving, respectful manner to each other, but it does rag on each tribe or culture individually. And I thought it was handled well in that aspect. As far as it being like a great story or something new and exciting, the only thing new or that interesting about it is the jokes, and that is only that interesting because of the time that this came out, when, you know, I do think that this is beneficial for the culture, even if it's not quite the level of success that I was hoping for.
You wanted it to be a bigger movie?
I wanted it to, yes, I wanted it to have
like,
more of
like
a payoff.
A better movie.
I wanted it, I wanted it to be a better crafted movie. Like when I started watching it, I even went on Twitter like halfway through and I posted like, this is my favorite movie of the year. Like, this is just being irreverent to these cultures and doing so. Like, I feel like that's what we do on this show. We're not making fun of cultures or people because we hate them. We're making fun of them because it's funny sometimes. Sometimes humans of all different shapes, sizes, and colors do weird shit, and that should be laughed at because it's funny, and we're all in that together. That's kind of how this movie was. But as far as it being a successful, well-crafted movie, it kind of fell short in a lot of ways. But I do recommend it still.
I'm gonna finish it, but I'll put the tinfoil hat on because it's this show.
Please.
And it is coming from Netflix, which is headed by one of Edward Bernays' nephews or grandson, something like that. Look into the guy who's running Netflix. This is about propaganda, for sure. Jonah Hill is from a Hollywood family, so he's royal blood. Eddie Murphy is Hollywood royalty, and he plays this like black nationalist character while he like is married to a white woman, has mixed kids, and lives like the most privileged life you could possibly live. Sure. So I think that it's interesting that he's kind of like playing this role, and it's whatever. Like, well, I get it, he's acting, but
who is it? Who are we talking about?
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know much about his background other than funny guy.
Right. I mean, he's hilarious. I'm not going to take anything away from him that he did in the 80s and the 90s. Mm-hmm. He started slipping with some stuff, I think. But
so in real life, he's a black nationalist who was married to a white woman. That's what you're saying?
In real life, he's he's Hollywood royalty, married to a white woman. He has golden chandeliers in his house and the whole shebang. So, but in this movie, he plays a role where there's a lot of shitting on white people, and Jonah Hill takes the brunt of those. Like, there's no shitting on anybody else, right?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm halfway through, and there's.
I feel like there's pretty good give and take because both families are made out to be complete train wrecks and just.
No, there's definitely stereotypes, but like I saw a scene where the women are going out for like the bridal stuff, like the pre-party, and like all these black girls are like, "Who's this white bitch?" Like I was like, "Oh, okay." Like it cuts more than the other stuff. The other stuff's like kind of more playful, or like Julia Louis-Dreyfus character is kind of stupid.
That's true, but it doesn't make that character look better for saying that. It makes them look like a piece of shit for saying that, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me and my white lens that I'm watching the movie through, that it doesn't offend me when somebody says.
It might be my white privilege. I might have been offended. I don't know.
I mean, I hear what you're saying with the conspiracy stuff for sure. I don't trust the people who made this film in particular, but I don't know. Like, hey, if the Illuminati wants to put out movies that are like dogging on, Muslim culture, Jewish culture, black culture, white culture, all the cultures, I don't care. Like, I don't trust Matt Stone or Trey Parker either, but I laugh my ass off when they make fun of everybody. So I don't care. Bring the funny Illuminati back. Bring back the good Jews. I kid. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Jews. I know you guys get it. You're funny. I hear. Anyway, I don't know. Watch the movie and come back or finish the movie. Let me know what you think next time. But yeah, and people in the chats, did you watch it? Have any thoughts? It's not often that I've watched a movie that is relevant. So if I do, it's newsworthy and we got to talk about it. But Let me see. We've got a few other things here for the main. I think we're going to drop a couple of them. Oh, this was just a fun one that it's not a story. It's just a post that somebody made. It's from at Queens Mika SoCal. She says, black people made Wakanda. White people made Chicago. Where yous rather live?
This has to be satire, bro.
You would think, but people said that the tweet was there and was deleted, is what I hear.
Oh my god!
It might be. I don't know who this person is. I don't want to like lead anybody astray here. But
it's still. I wish I would have tweeted that because
it's a great joke. If it's a joke, if it's not a joke. If it's not a joke, then holy shit. So in response to that, I said, the white agenda, trademark logo. First, we gentrify Chicago. Then we gentrify Wakanda. After that, Agrabah and Pride Rock, time permitting. Shit, you should see what we did to Gotham City already. I don't know. I don't know if it's real, and I don't care.
It's fun. Either way, that's how you know it's good.
That's right. That's how you know it's a good joke. Speaking of, I don't know, good jokes, have you heard about this Jeffrey Epstein fellow?
The name sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. Ring a bell. So he's back in the news this week because his good friend Bill Gates is also in the news, which means that this is a Gates Watch.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. Now, if we do a really great job, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Gates Watch.
That's right. It's Gates Watch, where we watch the creepy weirdo Bill Gates and all of his shenanigans, his entrepreneurial, very generous and giving philanthropic adventures that he takes us on. And this week, he had a conversation on some sort of news station. Here's what happened.
Now, one of the issues that's dogged you is that of your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you regret the relationship that you maintained with him against Melinda's advice and wishes?
Oh, I've said that you're going way back in time. But yeah,
new audience.
I will say for the, over 100th time, yeah, I shouldn't have had dinners with him.
Epstein had a way of sexually compromising people. Is that what Melinda was warning you about?
No. I mean, I had dinner with him, and that's all.
And that you regret the relationship, the acquaintance?
That I had dinner with him.
Mm. And the relationship between the foundation and Epstein, which
there never was any relationship of any kind.
She's like, it's a very simple question, and if he was planning on answering it with, I never had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, you'd think it would have led with that instead of beating around the bush on this topic. No, I sad I had the dinner or the dinners or the many dinners or the meetings and dinners or the hanging outs and all that stuff. I regret it mostly because the dinner was bad and he wasn't very good company. But I didn't have a relationship with him.
And who cares if you had a relationship with him? Did you have a relationship with an underage prostitute?
Yes. Fair. Yeah. What even constitutes a relationship with a business mogul like Jeffrey Epstein? If you're having dinners with him discussing business plans, isn't that a relationship? Because I would call that a relationship, but he's going to split hairs and be like, no, I did not have a relationship. Well, you had dinner. And he's like, I regret the dinner. It's like, come on, dude. And yeah, there's obviously more to this, but even just giving him full benefit of the doubt that all he had was a dinner or two or three or four or five, it's just fun to watch him squirm. And I don't know. He's a creep. He's a real creep. And every time he gets into one of these discussions in interviews, they're like, it's almost like they set him up to give an easy answer, and he just can't find it in himself to say, I did not do that, or I regret that. That's it. That's all he would have to say. Yes, he pulled one over on me. Like, how hard is it to lie? I guess it's harder without statistics.
Well, you don't, lie. But he doesn't want to lie. Like, he has to say absolutely nothing. That's the art, right?
Right.
Like, if he lies, if he perjures himself, or well, it's not court, but like if he lies and then somebody catches him in the lie or something, he just said absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And he's really good at this point. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of him getting interviewed by the feds in the 90s over the antitrust stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll ask him a question and he'll just sit there under the hot lamp for like 10 or 15 seconds, like Elon Musk style, before giving like a simplistic nothing legalese answer.
Right. Very concisely, intentionally vague answer. Yes. Yeah, it's impressive. But he wouldn't even have to lie necessarily to, I guess it would probably kind of be a lie, but if he was just like, yes, I regret it. I regret everything I did or the media thinks I did or what, like I regret all of it. If he
That
does
sounds
regret
guilty,
well, okay. So
he was like, I regret having dinner
yes.
with him. That's all I did. I just had dinner. I
Right.
regret that. But nothing else because nothing else was there. Like, it's like.
Right. It
This
just
bitch.
seems like it would be easier. There are easier ways to get out of this question, even if you're not telling a lie. There are easier ways to, I don't know, massage vague answers and manipulate your way around this question than what he's doing. Because it's like he's a master of manipulating his way into vague answers, but then he's actually really bad at it. Everybody just lets him do it. Like he's not good at it. He's like, it was not great. It's like, okay, but you know that he ran Pedophile Island, right? Like, yeah, well, it's just one dinner. It's so awkward and telling, but yeah. Do you think anything will ever happen to this guy as far as like getting anything he deserves?
I've never seen a bad guy get what they deserve.
It's true. It's true. Except for Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently in jail, and she seems very sad about it. She had this to say on Jeffrey Epstein this week.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did. I believe that he was murdered. Well, I was shocked. And I wondered how it had happened. Because as far as I was concerned, he was going to... I was sure he was going to appeal. And I was sure that he was covered under the non-prosecution agreement.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the indictment. So I wasn't mentioned. I wasn't even one of the co-conspirators.
So she says that Epstein was murdered, and she believed that he would get away with what he did because it would be under some non-prostitution agreement. Her words. I don't know. I forgot some thoughts. What do you think, Dave?
Couple thoughts. This is the first photo or video I've seen of Ghislaine Maxwell since she got arrested.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen a perp walk or a mugshot or a scene in a courtroom, anything until this. So when this came out, I was like, finally. All right.
Yeah.
Like if something.
I didn't know they had green screens in prison either. That seems odd to me.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we're on the same page, bro. But here's the other thing. She's Mossad. Like her father is like, well, he's dead now, but he was like at the epicenter of that shit, like high up, super high up. Probably he was too, but to take anything that she's saying while in federal custody and an asset of the Mossad and probably our own agencies here, like there's just nothing she could say that you go, well, that's what she said. Nothing. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what to take. Like, I don't know. Like, do you think that she's in prison? And if she's in prison, do you think that she's like getting special treatment? Do you think that she's propped up as a pawn and she's supposed to say that Epstein didn't kill himself? Or like, I don't like even the conspiracy side of this is like, if she was like just a plant or something and she's not really in prison or what have you, why is she saying that Epstein didn't kill himself and all this stuff?
Yeah, I can only, if this is legit, I can only imagine that she is just playing ball with all of the people who don't want to give up the flight log. You know what I mean?
Right.
They would like you to just think Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile. Prince Andrew might have been involved, but he's dead now. She's in jail. Everybody go back to sleep. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead, like it's really about the trafficking ring and the blackmail organization for Mossad and CIA. Like that's really what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they trade in, man? They trade in drugs and humans, and they're the worst people on the planet. Like, so I'm sure they maybe are offering her some kind of deal. Maybe are treating her nicely if she goes along with a certain narrative. That sounds certainly realistic.
But why would the narrative be that he was murdered? Just as a distraction or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very strange. Very strange.
I mean, everybody thinks that. Wouldn't that be weird if she came out and went, "Oh no, I believe that he hung himself"? Like that would sound weird. Like the meme Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself is like too. It's like fuck Joe Biden or
I mean, she could have came out and if it was like scripted or something, she was being told to say this. Why wouldn't it be something like, yeah, he was a very troubled human being. Toward the end there, I could see how he would, like, why wouldn't she be pushing the mainstream narrative on this one? It's odd, but something to keep an eye on, and we will continue to keep an eye on it. But before we leave here, we do have to hear from Bill Gates' wife, Melinda Gates. Here's what she had to say.
It was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of...
Melinda French Gates. Or if you want to get offensive about it, it's Melinda the French Gates.
Yes. Oh, look, it's the French.
Full circle.
Contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and that you were not... that was very upsetting to you. Did that play a role in the divorce at all in this process?
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing. It was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful.
You felt that the moment you walked in? I didn't realize that.
He was awful.
Yeah. And you shared that with Bill, and he still continued to spend time with him?
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
He won't do it, bitch. You gotta do it. You gotta say it. Also, I don't trust this woman. I think she's a way better actor than Bill is. Way better actor. Like, her answers, much better than Bill's. She's like, God, like, everything. Like, how hard would it have been for Bill to be like, yeah, he gave me some weird vibes, but he had a lot of money, so he was, like, successful financially, and but he did give me some weird vibes, and he never speaks ill of Epstein, if you noticed. He just beats around the bush and is like, yeah, I kind of regret having dinner with him. And Melinda's like, I've got this evil presence when I walked in the room, and it's like, she's really good at this. She's good at the PR here, and somebody needs to coach Bill a little bit better.
Well, she's definitely separating herself from him. And if I agree with you that 5 seconds into her spiel, like, this is a pitch, and she's still one half of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation,
right?
That does the most evil things on the planet. She's so disgusted
that she needs 50% of the profit from Jeffrey Epstein's estate or whatever.
Yeah, I think that she's getting out ahead of it, separating herself. She's a power player, obviously. Look at that fucking jawline. She's ready to fucking play. I don't,
She's got that quarterback jaw right there.
I do think that there's probably truth that she's a woman scorned and is throwing her ex-husband under the bus. But she probably can't say so much because she probably knew the whole time and didn't care at the time. And
I mean, she basically said as much. She thought he was a creep, and she warned Bill not to work with him. Like, but how long did you stay with Bill after that point? When you knew that he was working with him? If it was that troubling, you waited until all this shitstorm happened with Epstein and the trial and all that stuff, and Bill going down. Like, you waited until then to be like, yes, I want a divorce. And it's because for all these years you've been talking and working with this man that I, from the moment I met him, knew that he was a bad guy. Okay, well, that doesn't really check out.
Not buying it, bro.
Not buying it. Fake super chats. We got Jack Casey with they want women in the gasless stove kitchens making vegan sandwiches for their trans diaper-wearing, piss-soaked men. Now, I should know by now that if I'm going to put up a Jack Casey fake super chat, I should probably screen these before putting them up there. But just to let you know that I will never learn my lesson, here's another one. Jack Casey says, show me your slippery slopes and I'll show you my niche box.
Yo, you can tell who's the writer in the house, man.
That's right.
This guy is eloquent as shit. Mwah, bro.
JackCaseyBooks.com, everyone. For eloquent degeneracy, JackCaseyBooks.com. And JC says, fake super chat, supposedly one time Sammy David Jr. Tried to talk to Eddie Murphy about Satanism, and Murphy was so disturbed that Davis dropped the subject. Okay. Well,
Word?
He was so disturbed because he was like, stop talking about my people, or he was so disturbed because, yeah, if Sammy Davis Jr. came up to me and was like, hey, let me tell you about Satanism, I'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
Can't we just sing a song or something?
Right. Shut up and sing your songs. All right. So that's it. Dave, you got any final thoughts on all of the beautiful and brave and bold things that we've talked about today?
Don't endorse.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Don't, what's the word that they use? Affirm. Don't affirm mental illness when you see it. Don't, be empathetic
Empathize
to everybody.
And pity it.
Do not endorse or affirm mental illness. That's what I would say. Also, follow me on YouTube. Dave versus Goliath. I interviewed Monica Perez last night. So,
Dave, you said not to endorse mental illness. What are you talking about?
Shit. Yeah,
I mean, these people have been listening to us prattle on for like an hour and 40 minutes. They're endorsing mental illness right now, but
that's right.
It's a different kind. It's a fun kind. It's a more loving and fun kind.
Exactly.
Now, Dave, now that you've given your final thoughts, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, on YouTube. Got to get the numbers up. Please subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Dave versus Goliath on YouTube and Odyssey. Monica convinced me, I think, to sign up for Rockfin, so I think I'm going to take that one for a test drive soon.
I got that recommendation this week too, so we'll have to look into it together.
Exactly. I think, we should have that talk. Facebook and Instagram and Spotify, iTunes, all that good stuff.
Nazi fags.
So, and you can find me and all the stuff. Whoops, I didn't mean to kick Dave out yet. The system is down.tv. Whatever. I'm going to kick Dave out. Dave, hang on the line. Let me talk to these folks. Hey, guys. Dave, it's always a pleasure, by the way. I should have said that. That's the nice thing to do. Hey, thanks for tuning in. It's been a longer one than I've been shooting for lately, but there was a lot to cover. I've been paying attention this week, so there's more to discuss. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for hopping in the chats and making it a fun old time. Oh, we got an extra fake trans super chat. Talk about the darn SEC versus library hearing. I will, if you send me links. I don't know what's going on. It's Jeremy's situation, and I'm not caught up on it. But yeah. Interesting things there for sure, and I'm interested to know more, but I haven't kept up on it. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for hanging out in the chats and being awesome. If you would like more of this nonsense, please go join us in the after party. That will be starting in roughly, a couple of minutes over in the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down. We're going to keep this party going. We're going to be talking about, Paul Pelosi's body cam footage of the hammering, which is just crazier and gets crazier by the day. The more they tell us about this, about what actually happened, the less sense it makes. We're going to be talking about the guy who got in trouble for not baking the gay cake. He's getting attacked by the trans community now, in I'm sure a very loving manner, and a couple other things. So if you want some more spice, if you want to keep the party going, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down, and we will do just that right now. And if you're not going to do that, then I'll see you next time. And next time will be, at the very least, next Wednesday, same time, same station. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. God bless you, or whatever we say around here. Question everything. Stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Peace out.
Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here is how the system. Violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down. for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. goulashmedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.